I look to my left and give my clanmate a determined nod, his eyes glazed over under his helmet, ready for battle. I look to my left, another clanmate, adjusting her battle stance in preparation of what's to come. Deep in the walls of the cavern, distant wails can be heard, aggressive, eager to be released from their containment. Donning full trimmed masterwork armor and a masterwork two-hand sword, I down my elder overload, pop my vampirism aura, and shout to the rest of my team. Get ready, boys. Here they come. The assault is here. In a moment's notice, these insanely grotesque creatures pile into the arena, each variant having a singular, bloodshot eyeball, its pupils dilated, and its coloration a murky, disgusting, muddy brownish red, scanning you like it's looking right into your soul. The first one came at me, the Ranger, its body similar to that of a hornet, acid green skin and lots of small arms with long, protruding stingers. A flash of my fury and the quickness of my blade's sharp edge hacks off the Ranger's wings as it falls to the ground, and I leap into the air, slamming back down as the point of my sword pierces its body. Green ooze spurting everywhere as it spasms before death. As the attacker roll, it is my duty to vanquish these evil scum. Damn it! Something penetrates me through my armor as I look down to see the long talons deep into my flesh, courtesy of a penance fighter, ambushing me as I was distracted by those Rangers. The fighter took another swing at me with its claws, but I leaned back out of the way, crouched down, and with all of my power, spun back around and unleashed a mighty uppercut, dicing through its neck as its head rolled away. "Healer! Healer! I need you!" I shouted, as I was brought a vial of rejuvenation. I looked around. The collector was grabbing all the colored eggs to load into the cannon. The defender was baiting the traps to stop the runners, and I continued my rampage. Wave 1, Wave 5, Wave 8, and then we made it, Wave 10. The cavern was eerily subdued. The anticipation was palpable. Thoughts ran through my head. Do we have enough strength left to persevere? Do I have the mental fortitude to do what it takes in the last round? I feel the prickling of the hair standing up all over my body. The king has arrived. This is the story of the birth of the penance race. Infernus, a world of jagged terrain, grotesque architecture, and ecosystems sustained by death rather than growth. Life emerges only to be immediately consumed, a spawning ground designed for brutal selection. Here rises a Sindonian demon, feeding on its brethren, all the while growing more and more powerful after every consumption. In the horrid tongue of the demon, he was given a name, Cacus. During this time, a demon of mighty influence came to power, surpassing that of Cacus and all his peers, Hostilius the Autocrat, who seized rulership of the infernal dimensions following the rebellion against the Infernals. With the rise of Hostilius and the imposition of law, the environments would shift again, this time towards a grim, infernal order. Chaos gave way to structure, though not mercy, and ordered tyranny rather than a feeding frenzy. For following this set of rules, Cacus would be named Duke and leader of the 9th Legion of Demons. When Zaros arrived later to Infernus, looking for an army to assist his escapades on Gielinor, he tricked Hostilius into a demon pact, and eventually gained control of the legions himself. After the events of the banishment of Zaros by Zamorak, Zamrock led a coup against the Synthonian demons, progressing the reign of Infernus squarely in the lap now of the Avernic. Although we don't precisely know what led to Cacus's downfall, we do know that most of his kind were slaughtered or banished to the Abyss, exactly where he would end up. In the Abyss, Cacus brooded and survived on dead, organic material brought to him on currents. These same abyssal currents were not just his life force though, they were slowly pushing him towards Gielinor. When Cacus's abilities were in range, he sensed a fremennik woman named Asa Fellsdaughter in her dreams and devoured her soul. Asa would go on to isolate herself in an underground cave and await her death, to which Cacus created a portal from her body and entered Gielinor. Now rallying himself a king, he spawned Penance Queens from his own essence, which in turn spawned the Penance race. At the Barbarian Assault minigame, with a combined 50 points in any role, adventurers can purchase the Mad Ramblings Part 1 and 2 from Commander Conrad's reward shop. This is the detailed accounts of Asa Fellsdaughter before her death. The transcript reads, "My name is Asa Fellsdaughter. This is my account, so that you may know me and know the doom that is to come. They whisper behind my back and call me mad. I am no lunatic. Is it madness to be fearful of the end of all things? Is it madness to rage against the dark forces that come to consume us? I first became aware of him in my dreams. Each night I would experience the most powerful visions of distant places and ancient times. Some I recognized as being in our world, and some were utterly alien. And in every scene, he was there, a great inhuman thing, all made up of limbs and mouths and pestilent skin. What I witnessed was that he was a leader and hero of monsters. This thing, this great beast, had other beasts and demons and wicked things bowing before it. Strangest of all were the men who bowed, all clad in bright and shining armor, which could not hide the darkness in their souls. For who but an evil man could bend the knee to such a creature? As the dreams went on, I began to piece together his story. Long ago, in a time so distant I cannot grasp the notion of it, he was spawned in a noxious puddle by an unremembered muculent sire. He was but one of a clutch of innumerable wriggling horrors, but each of them was a tiny cannibal, and from the moment of their repellent birthing, they fell upon one another. They feasted and, in turn, were devoured, until just one engorged shape lay in that cursed pit. That shape then crawled from its vile cradle and went out among others of his kind. In their own vile tongue, they named him Cacus. Timeless aeons passed, great wonders were wrought, and great travesties were committed. There was a war against an evil even more ancient and outlandish than the cannibalistic aberrations themselves. Cacus, who had crawled sated from the roiling birth pit of his kin, gorged himself once again on the corpses of his former rulers, and more than a few of his allies, growing vaster and stronger. Cacus's master, Hostilius, was a thing even more massive that Cacus could not hope to devour. That master laid down rules that forbade the consumption of exquisite kin flesh, so order and stability might flourish in place of anarchy and chaos. In return for acceding to and supporting this law, Cacus and those as powerful as he were granted high station in a devilish hierarchy that spanned their world. Cacus was made a duke among monsters and ruled, for a time, over the demons he made into slaves. Then a mighty stranger came to that place, and bargained for the loyalty of 12 dukes and their legions. Each legion comprised demonic soldiers, numbering 12 times 12 times 12. The stranger took this mighty army, and with a power bestowed by a god with many heads, tore a great gateway into the world between worlds, leading them to a land unlike anything they had imagined. You will know my surprise and my despair when I tell you that the stranger had brought his legions of demons to our very own world. Our verdant forests and rolling plains were as alien to their eyes as their hellish ruin would seem to ours. It maddens me to think that such abominations have sullied our fair Gillinor, and that it yet suffers from their presence. Cacus and his kin built a great empire for the stranger, conquering and enslaving the humans of the world. But the years took their toll on the monstrous dukes, and soon only a handful remained. Then came the time of the Great Civil War, where a mighty sorceress warlord tore the empire in two, and then, traveling through blasphemous rites, marched upon the very home of the monsters and demons. One by one, the monsters were slaughtered or driven out by the warlord and the inhuman slaves they once ruled. Even Hostilius was butchered and dragged into the abyss. There he languished, struck between worlds like a great corpse puppet. His remaining subjects fell once more to cannibalism, frantically attempting to hoard enough power to survive. When defeated and exiled, many of them made their way to his bloated bulk and infested it, crawling over and inside the dead flesh like so many flies and maggots. As for Cacus, he fought for his sundered home, lost and was forced out. He eschewed his kin, who scavenged and picked over the remains of their once master, and made his own way into the great beyond. There he stayed for an age, accompanied only by wretched self-pity and thoughts of revenge. He fed on the detritus brought to him on abyssal currents, and scratched his inscrutable thoughts on parchment fastened to his own body, in order that they would not drift away. After long aeons, the ebb and flow of the abyss brought him close to our world, and he was filled with hunger, both for living meat and for dominion over others. I watched him in my dreams and saw him clawing, searching, seeking any crack or hole that would allow him access back into our warm, light world. Then, he seemed to smell something. He looked this way and that, searching, until finally, he lifted his loathsome face upwards and found what he was looking for. He could see me. His great mouth gaped, and he swallowed my dream soul whole. Now when I awaken each morning, it is without feverish sweats, for I am a being with no soul. He has devoured it entirely. When my body dies, he will rend it from within and make from it the entrance he requires. I have told the elders to no avail. They call me moon-touched. I cannot take this doom elsewhere to threaten others. My people are the mightiest of humans, and if anyone is to face this onslaught, it should be them. I will hide myself in the caverns beneath the outpost, so that there is at least the possibility of fortification. While he waits for my death, he draws essence from his own flesh and uses it to grow an army. He is not breeding heirs, but generals. In anticipation of his coming conquest, he styles himself not a duke, but a king, and his creations are his queens. They, in turn, may spawn yet further abominations in myriad forms, and his will is communicated through the thoughts of the queens. Even if my people do heed my warnings and marshal their defenses, this army threatens to overwhelm them. I go now to the caverns to await my death. I wish no curse on those who read this warning and ignore it. For when he returns, all will face reckoning. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you for watching or listening to the video. If you did enjoy, please go ahead and like the video, comment your thoughts down below, and subscribe for more. If you are listening on any of the podcast platforms, drop a follow and like the video as well. If you're looking for more RuneScape lore, stick around. There's a lot more coming your way. I appreciate all of you. RuneScape. Forever.